Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we are unpacking something truly transformative. We're going to explore the honest sharing protocol. Based on the guide by Gopal Norbert Klein, this is a fascinating, highly structured framework dedicated to achieving much deeper interpersonal connections and, incredibly, healing relationship and developmental trauma. Honestly, if you've ever felt completely disconnected while sitting in a crowded room, this explainer is absolutely for you.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to quickly cover the need for connection, what honest sharing is, the 3-sentence starters, the 4 sharing levels, rewiring your nervous system, and finally, joining a local group. Let's just jump right in.
All right, starting off with Section 1, the need for connection, and why we so desperately need real contact.
Think about this for a second. How often do you feel truly heard, like really deeply understood? Ask yourself that honestly. Because here is the wild biological reality of it all. As social mammals, our autonomic nervous system strictly requires an honest, truthful exchange about our inner selves. Without that truthfulness, our nervous system simply cannot classify fellow human beings as safe. It is a literal prerequisite for us to feel relaxed and secure.
The problem is, society has kind of lost the ability to make real contact. I mean, we spend our days stuck in this endless loop of superficial conversations. We discuss the weather, we share random stories, we basically just talk at each other. But we aren't making the real contact necessary for nurturing communication. And that's the kind of communication that actually strengthens us as individuals and as couples.
So let's look at the TLDR for this first section. Superficial talk actively keeps our nervous system stressed. It's that simple. Without real, honest contact, our bodies just remain in this subconscious state of tension. We absolutely need truthful exchange to signal to our bodies that, hey, we're safe right now.
Which brings us seamlessly to Section 2. What exactly is honest sharing?
The source guide defines honest sharing as a highly structured communication protocol. It was created by Gopal Norbert Klein to solve that exact lack of connection we were just talking about. It's specifically designed to keep you totally safe and protected while you share how you feel in this very moment. So it's not about sitting around analyzing the past. It is entirely about securely expressing your present moment reality.
But here's the other half of the equation, and it's a big one. Listening is an equal part of the process and is just as important as speaking. In honest sharing, whoever is speaking gets 100% of your attention. You maintain eye contact, or actually, if eye contact is way too intense, you can just look toward the person's feet. But providing that open, completely dedicated listening is basically sacred in this practice.
Okay, time for the Section 2 TLDR. Honest sharing is a structured, present-moment exchange created by Gopal Norbert Klein. It requires dedicated speaking and 100% attentive listening. The end goal? To deepen our relationships and foster a peaceful coexistence. Because, when we truly hear someone's inner world, it becomes nearly impossible to see them as hostile.
Let's move right along to Section 3, the 3-sentence starters. This is where we get into the practical mechanics of how this actually works.
The absolute core of the protocol separates our internal experiences into 3 very distinct levels: body sensations, emotions, and thoughts. Now, in the beginning, it definitely takes some practice to distinguish between these 3 within yourself, but by separating them, you create this sort of inner distance. You can share the actual content of your inner world without becoming completely identified with it or overwhelmed by it. It's a real game changer.
The steps to do this are beautifully simple and, as I mentioned, highly structured. You meet up as a pair or maybe in a small group of up to 6 people. Every participant gets to share entirely undisturbed for exactly 10 minutes. And step 3 is the magic key. You must use exact sentence starters. There is no back and forth dialogue, no giving each other advice. You just share and the rest of the group listens.
So, your TLDR for practicing this protocol is this. You must rely strictly on 3 specific sentence starters. You say, I sense for body sensations, like I sense tension in my tummy. You use I feel for emotions, like I feel joy or I feel anger. And finally, in my head is the thought that for your thoughts. By basically forcing your communication into these 3 rigid structures, you safely separate yourself from the overwhelming nature of your own feelings.
Now, what happens as you get better at this? Well, Section 4 covers the 4 sharing levels.
Honest sharing relies heavily on strict boundaries to maintain safety. For instance, Level 1 strictly forbids talking about other participants, so you cannot say, "In my head is a thought about Peter." That ensures no one feels addressed or triggered. Once everyone is perfectly comfortable, you can step up to level 2. That allows safe references to others who are present, but only if everyone agrees. If even one person feels uncomfortable, you immediately drop right back to level 1.
From there, we get into some deeply advanced territory. Level 3 removes the time limits completely for exactly 3 highly experienced people. They can share their sensations, emotions, and thoughts all at the same time, with no fixed order. And level 4? Well, the guide takes quite a leap here. It outlines a concept for building conscious telepathic networks through pure nonverbal awareness. Yes, literally telepathy. It is a pretty intense progression from just sharing your thoughts.
So the TLDR for this section is to always observe your own limits. Start safely at level 1. Progress through the levels only as your comfort grows. And if any doubt or problem pops up, just immediately fall back to the safety of level 1. That structure is there to protect you. All right, this brings us to section 5, which is arguably the most profound part of this explainer: rewiring your nervous system.
Why does this strict sharing structure allegedly heal past trauma? Well, the science backing this up is fascinating. According to the source's findings on polyvagal theory, most of us experienced a childhood where our caregivers just couldn't handle all of our emotions. Expressing anger or sadness meant danger. So to literally physically survive, we suppress those feelings. But if we're stuck suppressing them today, we remain in outdated survival strategies. When we feel safe, our neocortex allows relaxation and contact. But due to unresolved childhood stress, we often bounce between the limbic system's danger response, which is your classic fight, flight, or conflict, and the brainstem's severe threat response, which causes immobility, withdrawal, and depression.
So here is the incredibly powerful TLDR for Section 5. Because our physical survival no longer depends on our childhood caregivers, we need to prove to our bodies that we are safe right now, as adults. Honest sharing aims to rewire those outdated childhood beliefs. By safely sharing all your inner feelings with attentive listeners today, you regulate your autonomic nervous system, permanently releasing that trapped childhood survival stress.
Finally, we've reached section 6, joining a local group. How can you step out of isolation and actually start putting this into practice? The good news is you don't have to do this alone. You can practice with a partner or a friend, but you can also join a local group. These are led by a group leader who just makes sure everyone strictly follows the protocol. And they're part of a massive global multi-language self-help network. You can actually track them down online using the heart map at honestsharing.org. And hey, if there isn't one near you, the guide encourages you to just become a group leader and start one yourself. And that brings us to our final slide, and our final TLDR of the explainer. I want to leave you with a powerful, provocative question to ponder. Knowing that true connection is just 3 simple sentence starters away, who do you feel safe enough to try honest sharing with today? Really think about it. It might just be the very first step toward the deeper, happier relationships you've been looking for. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this incredible protocol. Until next time, stay curious.